Yeah.
Nice rich sound.
I'm teasing. What do we got?
Hollywood looks like he was okay today. What's the?
Yeah, he did good today. It's kind of been our plan all along. He gets some teamwork, some individual work, and monitoring all our guys. We got a specific plan for all those guys, reps and time on their feet and individual work, and he looked good today.
So yesterday you said if you want to get better at football, you have to play football. But how does Minicamp help the guys' perspective on everything mentally, like their mindset?
Yeah, huge. I mean, I think, in Minicamp, it's just kind of the culmination of the whole off-season program, and we got a lot of things in, and we threw a lot of things at them, situational football, and tried to make it chaotic the last 2 days and very game-specific, what we're going to have to execute and how we got to function to win games. So, which that's practice every day, but from a programming standpoint, you can make it extremely game-like, which today was, and I thought they did a pretty good job with it.
Did you reduce the minicamp? Is there a sign of the ball that's ahead of one another? Like the offense?
No, I don't. I look at how are we improving our players every day.
Did you reduce the minicamp by 1 day? And what was the thinking?
Yeah, they're going to be in tomorrow. We got a lot of work to do today and then tomorrow, but then we'll be done tomorrow afternoon.
What is it like to have Monty out there? What are the conversations like as he's watching this kind of?
Awesome. I mean, the communication obviously is critical between him and I, and he does a great job with his staff and then with all the coaches of, no one's in the dark ever. Everyone knows exactly what he's thinking and what moves he's thinking about making, or, down the road, hey, have you thought about this in mid-September or August or different things like that. And, we talk about our players every day. It's our livelihood. So it's been really cool to have a general manager that is that open and honest and clear with his communication. He checks in with us daily.
Coach, the Cardinals put out that behind the scenes on draft day. I caught your reaction to it with a lot of it. Just what was it like sitting there watching him?
I didn't see it. What did it look like?
You look like you were in awe.
I was in awe, because I was a little tight. I told you it felt like a 2-minute to me, but that was just to be able to get the player that we got, how we acquired him. I thought it was a really good job by him.
When you assess cornerback situation right now, and you don't necessarily have one guy that, like, everybody's saying, oh, that's that guy, but you have a lot of different possibilities and pieces. Kind of how do you look at that group right now, and how do you sort all that out by the time you need to sort it out?
I wouldn't say that to that room, Darren, because there are some guys that think they're the guy. That's good. That's what you want them to think. I think in time it'll sort out. They know that it's a production business, and you got to be able to deny the ball. And an easy thing for corners, like I say to you guys about the receivers, get open and catch the ball. DBs, it's pretty simple as well. Don't lose the cup in the run game, and don't let your guy catch it. So, I think they understand that. They know. And we ask a lot of our corners, with the different coverage structures that we play and things like that. Like the days of having a corner that doesn't know what's going on, that's not here. So they got to be smart. Know what's going on and know why calls are being called, where's the stress and the strength of each call, and then be able to line up and deny the ball on the highway, which that's a lonely world out there. I always laugh with the 3 technique gets cut out, and there's a run that goes for 10 yards, no big deal, but the ball goes over your head. He's on ESPN. So, those guys play a different game out there.
With your background as a DB's coach, when you look at the possibilities of Jalen, Buda, and Isaiah back there, kind of what goes through your head? Like, what do you think of it?
See if we can line up and play. You know what I mean? I think obviously good players that you've named, but they're one of 11, and they all got to fit in and do the right thing, and then it's our job to put them in position to make plays for the defense and help us win. But it's not just about the 2 safeties and the nickel. It takes all 11 to play good team defense. So everyone's got to do their job on a consistent basis for us to have a chance.
Are you hopeful that we can
Garrett will be ready for the start of camp?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we got however many weeks until then, and with those injuries, I know when he had his surgery or whatever, but he's progressing, attacking his rehab just like everybody, and when he's ready to play mentally and physically, we'll get him out there.
What happens for the staff after tomorrow between then and training camp, and then
No days off.
What's the message?
You guys work and I'm going on vacation. No. They have some specific things that I want them to make sure that they do, and they got to get their rest too because it's a long season. And I want them to be energized and fresh when training camp starts, and ultimately, I'm sure I tell them to take off, but they won't take off much. But they have to have specific plans for their groups and each of their guys to get their groups and each of their guys better.
Will you actually take off when you go on vacation, or you don't mind?
Yeah, I'll take off. A little bit. Be a dad. So I'm excited about that. My crew hasn't been here. The off season normally, my wife knows she's kind of a single mom for the season, and then just with the transition coming here, we really didn't have an off season. So she's been a single mom for a while here now. But they're here now, and I'll do some things with all of them, and some individual things with each of them, and we're going across the water for a couple weeks, and it's a 10-year anniversary, so we're going to Italy. Yeah, thank you. And so I'm looking forward to that, but then I'll be back in here, and we'll get back to it before we start up.
How long do we keep the rookies?
We got them for, I think everyone's kind of individualized, but I think we're keeping them for another week, and then some are leaving, then coming back, some are staying, then leaving, so all of our guys, all 90 guys it's kind of an individual plan with what they need to be ready to go for camp.
What does accountability look to you now as a head coach, and is it different than maybe when you were a player?
No, it's the same to me. Do your job on a consistent basis. Put the team first. Go ahead, Bo.
I feel pretty confident you guys were able to cram in enough up to this point, this offseason, with first year GM, first year head coach, new staff.
Yeah, I do. I think, it was at a point there in the off season, it felt like we were moving fast on a lot of things, a lot of different balls in the air, but I really like where we are as far as where we are right now at the end of minicamp, and a lot of work to be done this summer, but I think that we set a good foundation for when we come back here. It's going to be ratcheted up just a tad, but ultimately you got to try to win football games.
We've seen David
Between minicamp and OTAs, did you get some answers, or is it impossible without pads? Are there certain things you're looking for and you got some answers?
Yeah, I call it pajama ball, but yeah, you do. You really do. From a technique and fundamentals and schematics and situational ball and educating our players and, on a day-to-day basis, what winning behavior looks like, what non-winning behavior looks like. I think we set a good foundation.
We haven't seen David Blau out there. What's going on with him?
Yeah, he'll be out there for camp.
How wide open is that D-line when it comes to certain position groups? How wide open, and how much do you still need to figure out?
I think every room's wide open. Competition breeds the best out of people. So they all know that they'll be competing for spots and competing for playing time, and everyone doing a good job within their role to help our team win.
This is the last time we'll talk to you until end of July. What's the latest?
Lucky for you guys. Say it again. Same as, he'll be chomping at the bit, I'm sure.
Are there any assignments that you give to Buda Baker on days like the last 2 days, as far as he's not going to be on the practice field?
He was out there today, yeah. No, he not myself. I'm sure Nick and PT and Smitty, they give him things to do, but he's normally ahead of the coaches.
Coach, would you say you did have some motions on Kyler, whether it's from us or people around the community about his status?
I wouldn't say that. No, honestly, to be expected, but I think that, obviously, one being your franchise quarterback, people are going to, take an interest to it, so that's expected.
Coach, thank you.
All right. Have a good summer, everybody.
Dealing now with a new coaching staff and everything, kind of how have you assessed how that has been and how different is it right now?
I've been a part of a number of different coaching staffs, so it's not something that's new to me. I'm pretty familiar with it, and I understand how it goes. So far, so good. You know, they have a really good regime, and they're finding, tuning everything, and I think they're doing a great job with getting everybody prepared.
Do you feel like you are in the same spot you were in a year ago, heading into camp before you're infinite jack?
Well, not necessarily. For the most part of my career, I always usually start off as the bottom corner. Every year they always try to replace me. So I don't really care about starting at the top. And I like to be at the bottom, quite frankly, because it's just something to give me that edge to keep going and to dominate. And when I do, they hear about it, everybody. So I just like be where I'm at.
Is that where you feel like you're at now, at the bottom?
Oh, for sure. And it's understood. I'm not a very individualized player that feel like, oh man, I've been in the league 8 years, I earned this and that. No, whatever y'all feel y'all, you know what I mean, y'all have, or whatever y'all plans are as far as where y'all want to go in the future, you know, go ahead and, you know, do your thing. You know, I'm always going to do mine, and for the last 8 years, I've always prevailed no matter what. So it don't even matter to me as far as who they decide to roll with. I know when it's time for me to go and do my thing, I'm gonna do it.
8 years is a long time to keep that up, and it's what keeps you motivated.
Yeah, I mean, like some of y'all may know, like I was a walk-on in college, and then I went undrafted, and I've always been the last corner. So I'm not new to having the pressure or the worries or the feeling of doubt. Like I've been through all of that before. It's just another day for me, and I love to have it. Like, and it's that driving factor. Like I'm one of those guys. I love to watch the draft every year. I love it because I know what it means. Outside of just being like, oh, it's just a guy that they're adding to the roster. No, they're looking to replace me. So let's see if they can replace me.
Might be a stupid question.
Nah.
Why do you think you're the last, or why do you know you're the last? Is it because of what team you're running with during practice?
Well, it's not so much of the rep chart. I mean, that can vary because they try to mix it up, so you don't never really necessarily know what group you're in. But I like to put myself in that position because that's how I keep my edge to keep going.
So you'd be a starter in their eyes, but you think you're the bottom of the.
Yeah, it could go like that. Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel the camaraderie is on this team, like socially? How is it?
So far, man, it's great. We got a lot of young guys, like a lot. I think I'm the oldest person on the defense, which is like my first time, and it's kind of crazy to like really think about it. I'm like, dang. But I think we have a really, really good group of guys. They're young, they're very bright, they're very smart, very athletic. So that gravitates us and pulls us all closer together because we know we kind of go out there and get one common goal accomplished. And no matter what it is, we're going to compete against each other, all within helping each other. And that's something that I'm big on. I'm not one of those people that's, I'm not going to help him because he's in front of me. No. I'm trying to give him everything that I can give him so that he can be the greatest player.
Do you feel like a mentor for some of the young
Oh, for sure. I definitely. Yeah. I definitely am. And I take it on, and I love it, and I treat it as a great sense of pride. And I take it on because I know I have a lot of wisdom to share, and not just knowledge, like what I've been through, what I've done, what I've seen. And a lot of those guys are going to get a lot of different opportunities to do a lot of great things. And I want to, share without, stepping on the toes of coaches and all that stuff to keep things within the framework of whatever scheme we're going about, whether it's defense or special teams. But I just try to share whatever wisdom it is that I have.
How do you balance that, desire to help the younger guys, but also knowing, your mentality of, they're trying to replace you? How do you kind of put those two together?
Well, number one, I'm a pure-hearted person, and all my faith is in God, not man. I don't care, what he say or she say or what my road may look like. And sometimes, it can be troubling when, I'm put in a position where I understand that God is in control at all times. So it could be going bad at one point and then boom, he give me something good. Or it could be all going good. And just like last year, it was all going great. And boom, something bad happened. And then, he give me enough strength to come back. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to every day die of myself and be more submissive to what it is that God wants me to do. And I just try to keep going like that.
You were talking about the new staff, and you've been through a lot. Have you noticed any ways that they're trying to hold you guys accountable or set the accountability level on this team that might have been different than before?
Well, it's not to say that we didn't have anything set, as far as last year or, the previous years or whatever, but they definitely put a lot of emphasis on, like, running to the ball, being deliberate, in your efforts. And that's something that, VJ was very high on, as well. And we're just taking the small details and making them big so that we can do the small things right and the big things that happen unintentionally.
You've only shared the field with them for a few days, but what growth have you noticed from Christian and Marco so far?
The amount of reps that you accumulate over the years or whatever, it's just those reps. The more and more reps that you get, it's natural to happen. As long as you're in this business and the more reps you get, you have to get better. Or it's not going to be anything that's so drastic of seeing like, oh, man, he doesn't doing this so much better, but they're moving more effortlessly, so they're starting to understand ball a little bit more, and they can put themselves in better positions rather than straining to work hard when they just could have did one thing, a little bit different to save themselves, I guess, an extra, 15 plays or whatever.
Gigi was just calling all this offseason stuff pajama ball. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, all these years in the league, what do you get out of this summer when you guys can't have contact and there isn't real blocking and you're not supposed to go to the ground, all those things? Well,
a lot of it is just really you trying to develop pros, trying to teach guys kind of to a certain degree how to practice, how NFL practice should go. But like you said, pajama ball, everybody looks good in shorts to a certain degree. So when you put the pads on and you start getting a little bit more contact till you really start to see who can do what in what situations. And so I think that's, kind of like the ideal of it. And then, of course, they want to see you. Some guys aren't mature enough to be off and all by themselves, during the off season. I'm one of those guys that is. I know what to do. I know what's expected. So that's why I can be gone for 2 weeks and come back day one and look like I've been here the entire time because I understand what it takes.
From a personal standpoint, how's it been with another little one?
Oh, man, it's been wonderful, man. My little man, he's getting so big. And he got 3 mamas because my oldest daughter, Aubrey, and my youngest daughter, Olivia, they do everything. He cried, boom, they're going to pick him up. So it's almost like cheating to a certain degree because I could be like downstairs playing the game and he'll start crying. And I'd be like about to get up and they, nope, I got it. Yes. All right, cool. To a certain degree. So, yeah, I'm loving it, man. It's cool. It's just, it can be a little difficult because now you're outnumbered. Me and my wife, it's 3 kids to 2 parents. So it can be a little challenging at times. But for the most part, man, it's a beautiful thing. I love it.
And he's a junior, too. Right?
Yes, he is. He is a junior.
How does that mean to you?
It means a lot, So every time I step out on that field, the name that I carry, is not just mine. I mean, I don't do anything for myself anyways, but it's really giving me another extra kick and drive because I'm trying to be around as long as I possibly can, and I want him to see me in this space, in this place and time. So whether that's me playing 20 years, 25 years, whatever the case may be, I don't think no DB played that long, but if I could do it, I will.
Did you put that game ball, or the pick you gave to your wife in the stands, did you put that in his room somewhere?
Well, I have it downstairs in the basement, so I took it as the first one is for everybody, not so much about just, him directly because he knew he can't get the first one, even though he has a little special place. So, but no, that's for everybody. That's for all the undrafted players, that don't get too many opportunities, everybody that, wish they could have made it to the NFL. That's for all of them. It's not just for me or just for my family. That's for everybody to enjoy.
Do you know what the plan is for Father's Day coming up this Sunday?
Probably a surprise, but it's not so much because my wife's birthday is Friday, so it's like it kind of get pushed off to the side. That's kind of what happens, with Father's Day. It just is what it is, and it's not going to change. It's going to be the same every year because her birthday is right around Father's Day. So I'm just like whatever, But I enjoy being a dad. I don't expect anything for doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
You got any fun plans for the break?
Oh no, man! I just kick it with my family. I'm having a pool being built right now, so I can't wait for that. I'm going to enjoy that next year. So right now we just do little fun stuff around the house, and I just love being around my family. Our family is first for me.
What do you think about the scheme and the coaches that teach it? How are they as teachers? And anything stand out scheme-wise that kind of raise your eyebrows?
So it's a little different with what it is that we're running, but they have such a great understanding of it, and I think that's like the next step of what it is, or it's kind of like a separating factor, is that they understand it very well. So whatever question that you ask, they can tell you what it is, the reason why we're doing it, and just to give you that full-fledged understanding of just not running cover 3, like you understand the principles of why we're running and doing it like this.
What do you think of Isaiah and kind of his new role as a DB?
Well, Isaiah been doing what Isaiah's been doing for the last couple of years now, and so he's a special type of talent. And just trying to maximize, his abilities, and whether that's at, nickel, safety, or linebacker, he can do it all, and that's just a great thing about having somebody like him. He's like a unicorn. He can just do it all, and he has the size and he has all the attributes to be able to do it.
What's it like having a DC the same age as you?
Well, I'm actually older. He's 29, I believe, and I'm 30. So it's cool, man. It just goes to show you, you can do pretty much anything, as long as you follow the plans and put your best foot forward and be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be, and it can lead to something really, really good. And you can be a 29-year-old defense coordinator, coaching guys that are older than you, and they got to listen.
By the end of camp last year, you were a starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your confidence level you can do that again this year?
My confidence level is the same every year, every day of the week. I know that I can start in this league every game of the season, not just a few games here and there. I know what it is. They know what it is. And so I'm trying to be treated and respected as such. But it's also understanding the role and whatever it is that they're trying to do as an organization. So it's kind of one of those things in those situations where they try to label you as only a special teamer or it's only a backup. So you just go out there and bust your ass every play, and you make them feel you, and you make it hard for them. Simple as that.
It was tough for some of these practices or having to get in the dunk tank and chase kids around at field day.
Say that one more time.
What's tougher, the practices out here having to get in the dunk tank and chase kids around?
Oh, yeah, that dunk tank was rough. I went to my daughter's field day, and it was kind of chilly outside, and she was begging me, and I was looking, I was like, oh, man, I got to do it. And I just gave into it and went up there and got in that water. That water probably was about 15 degrees. And so I felt every bit of it, and I regretted it after I did it, but I'm going to do whatever for them.
How are the feet doing?
They're doing great. They're doing really great. I can sit here with no problems. I used to have where the nerve endings were burned. I used to be able to the blood flow would sit and my feet would kind of tingle. But I'm past that stage. I'm pretty much 100% healed. It's just at this point the coloration of it is what's still healing, and that's it. But no problems at all with my feet.
So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Darryl Green, by the way, played 20.
Back.
No, it's great. I've been pretty much around here this whole time, and once I got a little taste of Phoenix, I haven't really wanted to leave, so I've been enjoying it.
So I just moved here from New York too. How are you getting used to the heat?
Oh yeah, so no, I'm definitely a Deseret at heart because I grew up in Vegas, so I came back. It shocked me for a couple weeks. But I just remember those freshman high school football practices, in Vegas, and I came back pretty quick.
What's the difference between practicing with the Giants and practicing here? Do you notice more camaraderie, and how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot bigger and wider out here, more open. Practices here are very upbeat. We got a lot of energy going on. Really like the group of guys that we have.
What do you think of the new scheme, offensive scheme?
I like it. We might be a little bit more heavy run, and, as an offensive lineman, that's what you like to hear. But at the end of the day, we're going to block whatever it is that they give us, and we're going to do it, just as well.
What are your early impressions of Paris and John?
What was that?
What are your early impressions of Paris and John?
Oh, I like those guys a lot. Just from a personality standpoint, right off the bat, I really like them. And as players, too. They're gritty. They came here to play. They are very savvy as far as their role and rookies and, rookie duties and all that. They do really well with all that stuff. So that's always good. And I think they're going to be very good players for us, and they're definitely going to help this team.
What are some of those rookie duties?
We started them off light, with a little bit, go get us some Starbucks, get us some coffee. We'll integrate the whole breakfast on Saturday mornings during the season, things like that.
Well, there's always so much talk in football locker rooms about accountability. As a player, what is accountability to you? Like, what does that look like?
Accountability is doing things that are going to benefit the team, even though nobody's asking you to. It's doing the things that your first of all, your teammates and your coaches expect of you. And, not just doing them, but doing them at a high level. Just because it isn't enough here, sadly, just to do things here. You have to do them at a high level constantly. That's just the way it works.
You had several offensive line coaches with the Giants. Now it's changed here also. How's that adjustment been again with another new coach and what he's asking you and the guys to do?
Well, after you have 4 offensive line coaches in 1 year, you tend to, get used to the switches. So no biggie. You see a lot, you learn a lot, especially having a lot of different coaches in 1 year, and it's nothing new. So we're good, and we're adapting quickly, and that's just the way it is.
Well, what does Froholt add to the position at center?
Oh, well, first, he's very smart. He's gritty. I've said it before in an interview, he's a meathead. He loves the gym, so that's good, too, because, I think one of the most underrated things that are starting to kind of fade away from the O-line position is strength, and he has that, and, yeah, he's a good leader. He goes out there, makes the calls. He's been around the league for a while, so he knows what he's talking about, and he just goes out there. He's one of those guys that's going to give you everything he has.
Paris getting some reps on the right side. You kind of take on responsibilities, kind of being that guy on that side of the line.
Of course, Paris is a hell of a player on his own, but I tend to just we need to work together. Everybody on the offensive line. So it doesn't matter if it's his first year, if it's his 12th year. We're all going to work together and make it happen.
How do you feel about not having a set offensive line until day 1 of week 1?
Like I said, I've seen a lot. There's been a lot of changes in my past, during my career. I'm used to it. That's just the way that NFL works. They're going to try to find the best 5 and all that. You as an offensive lineman, you want that chemistry from the get-go, but you also need to be able to adapt and need to be able to play with whoever ends up next to you.
The organization added several guys to the sports performance and conditioning staff. Have you noticed a change? What kind of impact have you noticed or feel that there's been with that throughout the offseason?
Can you repeat the question?
The added guys to the sports performance and conditioning staff, I think there's 4 guys.
Okay, yeah.
How much of an impact do you feel that has made throughout the offseason, not only with you, but the entire team?
I think the more the merrier. The more, because they're not going to bring in guys just to bring in guys. They're going to bring in guys that know what they're doing, are here to help, and are going to make the team better. So the more of those that we have, the better off we're going to be. We got more eyes on guys. We got more coaches being able to take over, and look at different groups, make sure everybody's doing the right thing, the right exercise, And, as far as policing each other, we do that. But when you have an extra set of eyes on you to make sure everybody's on the same page and doing things right, then I think it's only going to help.
Well, you're saying you notice kind of less of an emphasis on strength in the offensive line in football. What's changed in that department? Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, you look back at the 80s, you used to see these guys, they were all, huge. And even talking about linebackers and stuff, and, it's evolved a little bit more into speed and agility and all that, which is good. And you need that. But I think, just being a kinesiology major, I think strength is one of the things that not only helps you on the field, but also prevents a lot of injury.
Is there anyone that you come across that's as big or strong as you these days?
As me? We'll go back to Farhold on that one.
Will, you've been around here for a year now. I mean, is this now a time where you can get a little bit more involved in the community stuff? I mean, given, what you could mean to a lot of kids around here?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I always try to be more involved than, as the further I feel we get away from those days where our contact is limited. I'm definitely going to try to do more and more. And this year we already have some things, in talks. And definitely that was an off-season goal of mine and a goal during the season to be able to affect more kids' lives.
Well, in terms of the scheme, how different is this offense going to look this year versus the last couple of years?
I mean, I can't, give you a full answer on that. I don't know exactly what's on the coaches' minds, but from what I've seen so far and what we've ran so far, I think we're going to run the ball, and we're excited about that. And, at the end of the day, it's versatility, right? We're going to do everything. But, just the fact that we are emphasizing the run game gets me excited.
Well, what are your impressions of Monty Ossenfort, the conversations and interactions you've had with him so far?
I like him a lot. I'm very thankful with them for the opportunity. And, I'm going to give them everything I got, the only thing I know how to do. And because at the end of the day, when, I don't take it lightly, you just get extended or you get a new contract or all that. Because when that happens, they're literally signing their name onto you. They're believing you, they're putting their names on the line for you, and I don't take that lightly at all. So we're definitely going to go out there, play for my teammates first and foremost, but I'm definitely going to play for the opportunity I was given too.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, guys.